Hey, how y'all doing today? This is Deborah. And this is my first, that's not my first video. I think I did post another one earlier. I'm not sure how it came through. Being on social media, YouTube, the video wouldn't upload in the regular spots. I put it somewhere else, so you might see it somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, feel pretty good today. I have a little bit of probably immune system fatigue, really. And I'm gonna be cooking. So I'm gonna wash my hands. My pet here is a cat that a few times a day she comes to me for rubs and to love on her. So I did. But just gonna wash my hands before we get started off and just some different and probably. I'm cooking a meal. My brunch, usually for breakfast, I usually have some kind of fruit, and then usually, I usually eat a heavier meal. Not usually the first meal is like that. Usually, first meal is water, which that reminds me I need to go ahead and drink some water. So let me grab on that. Okay. Just wanted to kind of show some of the different stuff that they have here in Australia. Probably similar items, just by a different name. I think the video that I did before I showed. I'm cooking potatoes for. Easy, hold on. I'm gonna make some hash browns. You see, I've got my stuff boiling over, but I cut it down. I started to grab it, but it was not a good thing. Got my stuff too full. Too much water in the pot. I should have used a bigger pot. But grab something to get that dry. She has a towel nearby here, so let me. Okay, get something to make it a little bit safer, a lot safer. And what I'm gonna do is, the eye on the stove here is you might be able to see it. They're kind of like hot plate, flat plates. I'm in Australia, by the way. Just north of Sydney, on my first house sit here in Australia. Let me see if I can show y'all this. Yeah, ooh, whoa, I lose my camera here. These are the eyes. She said they were, she had the coil, but then something happened with the electricity and the coil things went out. So when they replaced it, when the repair people came out to replace it, this is what she got. And I'm gonna try to fix. Hold on, I'm gonna try to fix my camera before it falls off of here. Okay, all right, I think that's better. Yeah, the camera was kind of loose there. Okay, so this is a senior apartment style. In the U.S., I was not living in a senior apartment, so I can't say this is the regular size. It's a one. Hold on, reaching for a bigger pot here so I can cook my potatoes in without boiling over. But she has a pretty good set of pots here. So I'm gonna get a bigger. And this seems to be a pretty. Washing the pans here. so steam coming off. All right, I'm gonna hold this over the sink here so it don't get water everywhere. And put in, shake the potatoes out there so they can this. Put it back on here. I'm gonna dry it off one more time. It's kind of hard to see against the white backdrop here, and I'm gonna put this back under. But she had a few potatoes. One thing when you go to house sit for people, most of the time they'll have food. Not all the time, but most of my sitters, except for one, had. When I say except for one, I've had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've probably had 6 or 7 house sits, and all but one had some kind of food available for me. And the range is gone. I'm gonna turn this back up high because now I got more space in there and I can get it done. And the lid goes back on there like that. And I'll turn the fan on later, but starting off, it's okay. Yeah, most of your house sits are gonna have food for you. Not all of them. This one did, but even though they have food for me, I don't usually eat all their food. Now, if they went out and bought food for me, I try to find out ahead of time, is it something that they're going to eat? So I couldn't get a definitive answer from the woman here as to if the food that she bought for me, is this something that she eats also? I would probably say probably not. But at the same time, maybe her daughter, somebody else she knows, but I'm not going to eat all of her food, and I don't typically do that. I don't. I usually bring some food with me. In her particular case, I asked her, did she want me to replace what I ate, and she said no. She was pretty stern about it, and but still, I went out and did go out and get a few things on my own. I do have an Aldi's here. I needed to see stuff when you get to a new place. First of all, if you're going, especially if you're going to a place that you don't know about, and you don't, and the sitter does not have the sitter does not provide you with transportation, their car, the use of their car, or I've had offers for bikes. I ride a bike occasionally, but I'm not real good at that. So, and the last time I rode a bike at a sit, it was actually Airbnb. I actually fell off the bike. Well, the bike didn't have any brakes that I didn't find out till I was going down the hill, and so that I ended up putting my bottom down on the ground and gravel to get off the bike before it ran into something that was going to throw me over the handlebars. That's another story. But yeah, sometimes they'll offer. This is still boiling. I cut it down, so, but it has space without rolling over like the other one. But anyway, a basic kitchen. All I need mainly, just a place to stay. Definitely save on having to, and depending on your pet, how much work you're willing to do. It was imperative to me that I could learn how to travel without having to spend an exorbitant amount of money. Hotels are pretty expensive in this area, considering the dollar exchange. A 60s right now is on the as of this is 67%. So 67% of American, if you give, let me see, how can I word this? $1 Australian will cost you 67 cents. So most of the, I'm gonna cut this down a little bit more. So it's still making a little bit more noise than I wanted it to make. That's the thing is up. But anyway, yeah, cut it down a little bit more so it doesn't blow off on me, you know, being irresponsible. But anyway, most of your houses are gonna, like I said, most of them are gonna start off with at least a couple of days worth of food for you. What I try to do is bring my own food in. Now here, I'll be here probably equivalent about, it was probably about 10 days. And my next sit is not that far for me. I did not bring a bag for transporting food. And so what I'll probably end up doing is before she get back, I'll probably go ahead, back up to Aldi's and get a bag or something, a refrigerated bag so I can transport my food. And that way, as I'm going from place to place, I'll just take my food with me. My next place after that, in between sits, is actually an Airbnb. They do provide breakfast. She said they provide breakfast here. And my next stay, and it's and they'll pick me up. They'll get me back. They'll come and pick me up from the train station it'll probably be a train. The train station, they'll pick me up from there, and then my next house sitter, because I found an Airbnb going towards my next trusted house sitter, Pet Sit, and she agreed that she would come and pick me up from the Airbnb early in the morning on the day that I get there. So, and then from there, if I need any additional groceries, she'll take me out, because that's a not car-driven thing too. And it's okay for you to let your pet sitters know that you won't have transportation for a couple of reasons. First of all, as a matter of convenience. For me in particular, let me put it to you like this. If I pay for a car, for a rental, I am going to want to be gone. I'm going to want to use that car, which means you're going to be gone away from the pet. If, on the other hand, if they provide a vehicle for me, I don't drive that much. I'm pretty much of a homebody. I might go to the grocery store. That's maybe an hour, hour and a half. Maybe twice a week, if that. Museum. I usually try to get to a museum, and that reminds me, I need to look for a museum or some kind of cultural event in the area, and that might be, I'll say 5 hours. So that's a total of maybe 10 hours. I would say 15 tops in a 2 or 3 week time period. I'm just not gone that much. But if I rent a car, then that means I'm going to use it. I'm going to be gone. But yeah, when I go to an area, just do think that, you know, I need to have access to food, and I want to see something different in the area. Here being in Australia, I might, you know, the beach here, they say the beaches are beautiful, but the beaches here is not far away, 6 miles, but I'm going to be in Australia for a few months, so I don't need to go to the beach today, but I do have some sits later on that have a car available. Okay, all right, I said we're going to talk about cooking. All right, now their stuff is a little bit different. I did get this, and this is what I usually get in the U.S. I got a pack of bacon. They call it cooking bacon, but the ones that I use here in the store, they're called streak bacon, S-T-R-E-A-K, streak bacon. And I didn't know that when I told them I wanted bacon. You know, she went out and got me some bacon, but it's called shortcut bacon. It's what we call in the U.S. Canadian bacon. basically ham. And it's okay. It's not bad. I would tell you this. And this is the fourth country that I've been in the last, what's this, 2023, the last year and a half. And they don't put sugar in their stuff like America does. They're, the meat is not that sweet. The bread, I got, she asked me what kind of bread, and I do tell them, this is a nut mixed grain bread here in Australia. I'm not sure where she got it. She said she got it from the bakery. I'm not sure which one. I have to look and see nearby. Not that much sugar, not that sweet. I got this yesterday. Just says cola. It didn't have the Coca-Cola written. It didn't have Coca. I don't see the Coca-Cola emblem, but it's probably one of the, it has an original Coca-Cola flavor to it. Not a lot of sugar like it is now. The eggs at the store, and these are some that she already had. Eggs, free range eggs at the store, not even in the refrigerator. They were all just stacked in a crate, non-refrigerated. Okay. So we're gonna, different things that they have. So this is a fairly common one. I saw a big container of this. Okay, it's something that was branded here in Australia, but it has a probably a P&G type background to me, but I'm not saying it is because I don't know. They're cookies. I bought some cookies. One of my simple pleasures is not real sweet. Probably thinking in terms of Chips Ahoy, but it just wasn't real sweet. It's not real sweet. Oh, let me show you some other stuff that they have. She has stuff called castor sugar. I don't know what that is. So, yeah, castor. I don't know what that is, but it's sweet. And she had these things for biscuits. And I'm gonna pull one out, and I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna put it back in here. But yeah, I'm sure I'll eat it tomorrow. These, basically, they're kind of like a granola and a rice. You put them in milk. When she asked me did I want, and I thought they were granola bars, and I was like, okay. She said, you eat it as a cereal, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? Eat it as a cereal. She had to tell me. You put it in milk, you put it in a bowl, you put milk and sugar in that, and basically it absorbs the milk and it disintegrates like a cold cereal. I'm gonna put this right in here. But yeah, but be flexible. Oh, what else? I did buy some. It's called sultanas. Is another name for raisins here. I like Raisin Bran, so this is our Aldi brand here, and so I got that. The help at Aldi's is very helpful. No big attitude. Just kind of. People kind of looked at me and stared. I could tell this, I haven't seen any other people, African Americans or black people, I'll put it like that, very few that I've seen. Most of the people on the platform in and of itself, and I'm sure there are some black people on the Trusted House Sitter because I've seen them, but it's not many. I think I've only seen one. Well, and maybe because of the place that I was applying for, but but yeah, not many people of color that I've seen. I did pass by a guy on the way to Aldi's, which was not far from here, about maybe a 5-minute walk, and I think I was walking slow, kind of, noticing the scenery and looking at they drive on the left side of the road here, so, that's a whole, even without driving, the lady picked me up at the station and me sitting on that side of the car, while she was driving was a little bit different. I caught myself trying to, on that side doing this and trying to step on the brake and the gas and turning my hands like I was driving. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't start off with a car here, because I just need to get everything is on the left. When you get on the bus, you're getting on the left. When you're crossing the street, you got to make sure that you look in the right direction, the correct direction, before you step in the street. And having to, how can I put it? I was having to judge how fast cars were coming on the opposite side of the road. I don't usually have a problem with that in the U.S., but it was very disconcerting. How can I guess that's the word. To be crossing the street and I'm looking like, okay, do I need to step out now? How fast are they coming? But if you're in the habit, I call myself the 360-degree head turner. So that's something that I do when I drive in the U.S. I'm looking around before I generally move. So, I've been driving now for, let's see, 60. I have probably been driving now for over 45 years. I put it like that. So I've had a couple of accidents years ago. A lot of defensive driving. So those skills are, regardless of what side of the street you drive on, those skills come handy. So, but yeah, so it's been, let me turn this on. This is the oven. So I need to pay attention here. Hold on. Set the temperatures. Okay, so this is, and I gotta remember, this is Celsius. So there, I'm gonna find out. Okay, she has a griddle on the top here. This is, okay. All right, decorations, so I can move them out of the way. Put them in here. And we will see how they do. She has a grill, but the grill is a little bit tricky to use. The flap on it keeps flopping down, keeps dropping, and I don't want to burn myself. So, but anyway, that's just part of what I went on here for, just to show y'all a little bit of what I've been doing for the past couple of days. The first 3 days, I really didn't feel that good. I'm sure it's a lot of decompression, just letting go of part of the healing process of, coming out of America, coming out of the United States. Is very, it's different, it's stressful, I'm sure. Here, like most places, got their own kind of stresses, but right now I feel a lot better, a lot safer, more relaxed, more relaxed. But coming here, the first few days, like I said, my whole body just almost shut down. My body temperature rose um, three 3 degrees. You know, definitely fever. I felt myself very dizzy, almost felt like sinus. Now, I did figure out at first I thought I was allergic to my host here, my pet, but I realized just yesterday that it's actually one of the closets that she probably rarely uses. Probably has some kind of dust or something in it because I was petting the cat. We were doing fine, and then when I got ready to go to bed, I wanted to rearrange some stuff that I had hung up in the closet. You know, hang up some stuff that was laying on the bed for, you know, on the chair and on the bed for the last 2 or 3 days. So I went opened up the closet, and within 2 minutes I was sneezing. So I realized it was the closet in the room. But by then I had changed and covered the sheets, and the sheets that were on the bed, the covers that were on the bed, I had done washed them. Now they don't have a dryer here. Apparently that's considered a luxury item, and that's what the U.S. here. The U.S. has luxury items and items of convenience that other places doesn't have. This particular place that I had, she does not have a dryer. She has clotheslines in the back, and I forgot. I pulled off my sheets, and I was going to stay up okay. In about hour and a half, my sheets are going to be, in an hour and a half, my sheets are going to be dry, ready to be put back on the bed. Well, it was in the evening, and when I went, I just out of habit, I went back in there to pull the items out of the washer, and dawned on me, ooh, there's no dryer here. So I had to get, basically, I, you know, looked around and got some clean, dry sheets to put on my bed. And so I pulled, in the following morning, I pulled the covers off, and you see in my background, I forgot to pull off one of the, I hung them up yesterday morning. I don't know if I can turn this around here, the little patio. Yeah, not right there. I forgot. Left it out all night and it rained, so it's wet again. But it'll have a fresh scent to it. But this is my space here, my little area here. This is an indoor cat, but she's not really pressing. You know, I try to, you know, I have my own feelings about indoor animals. And now I will say this. The main thing when I come to watch people's pets is for them to be two things. Number one is to be happy. Okay? I'm providing a service. Let me make this off. You know, keep in mind, I am providing a service for all of us. I'm providing a service for the pet owner to be able to go and do what they got to do away from their property, whatever it is, visiting, vacations, medical trips, work, whatever it is. Okay, I moved the trash can. And so and I'm gonna sit down just a second. Okay, the fire and ambulance here sounds just like in the U.S. Okay. But yeah, so the provision is for the pet to be. I'm trying to turn on the lights. Let's see if I can get better. I'm gonna close this a little bit. And closing the door here because they were very, oh gosh, look at this. Look at this. I was trying to keep her off the bed. Look at her. Tina, what you doing up on my bed? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I got one of these that I roll around on a regular basis. I actually had one that I was supposed to be traveling with, and I forgot it. You know, trying to, you know, you never know what you are going to need when you go to some of these places. You pack what you can. I had a lot of stuff that I did not, I just didn't know what to bring. And now that particular one, the lint roller, I'm really meant to bring, but repositioning stuff in my suitcase, I end up taking it out. So I don't have it. But here, this is one of the few places that I've been that she has a huge supply of these. Like every room, she has one of these in it. This is the kitchen. She has one in the bathroom. She has one in the bedroom. She has extra rollers that go in there with it. So kudos to her. But anyway, getting back to about my feelings on pets. What people classify as indoor pets. Especially since I've been pet sitting on a regular basis. When people say they have indoor, mainly cats. I haven't met a dog yet that's only indoors, but I do have some coming up. But well, except for the walk. Well, some of them have where they mess and pee on the inside. They have little areas or whatever pads that they put down or whatever. I'll see that when I get there. But I ask people when they say they're indoor pets, why? Especially if they say they try to get out. My question to them is, first of all, if they get out, what do you do to get them back in? That's the first question. And the second time I ask them is, what is the reason why the cat is not allowed outside? Okay? Because in this is strictly my opinion, an indoor cat can be one of two things. Number one, they truly don't like going outdoors, which leads to the thing of why. Because a cat is a mini lion. Outdoors is most of the time their territory. A lot of times the pet will be actually injured or in pain or some depression or some type of dental, somehow they don't feel safe being out there. So that is one element of why a cat does not go outside, because the animal themselves is afraid of going outside. Okay, that's legitimate. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with as a black person is people imprisoning their cat. And again, I'm using cat because that's the one I've seen most of the time. If I go to visit somebody and I have to fight at the door to keep the cat or something like that indoors, and they're trying to get out, that to me is an imprisoned animal. That's a lot of reasons why I don't like the zoo. Okay? I haven't gone to visit animals at a zoo in decades. I don't, because a lot of those are imprisoned animals. Yeah, some of them are probably injured, and this is their habitat now, and this is the safest that they're going to be. But if I go to, and the animal's trying to get out, now my second thing is, and it's a compromise. If I let out an animal, I have to be able to ensure that that animal, that cat, is going to be safe and they're not going to be hurt, and hopefully they don't hurt. Well, cats by nature are hunters, so, and dogs really. Um, and so what I do is, what I've started doing is doing a couple of things. First of all, if in that particular case, I needed to check to see on the containment on the pattern that I showed before, and I do notice that there is a gaping hole that the cat can get under to get out. There is a drainage ditch that's, you know, corrugated, but if the cat drops down there, you know, she could, you know, hurt her paw or whatever and get bruised up. She's not going to fall through the gate completely, but she is going to fall, you know, hit her bottom on the, or underneath on the gate there. So I would have to make sure, if I decide to let her out, you know, make sure the area is fully contained. And I actually bought a, what is it? I actually bought a collar for her, but the flip side, she hates that thing. I made the mistake of doing a delicate put on her, and I didn't put the thing all the way on her, and I didn't get a video of it, but she took off running and squirming and darting around and jumped out of that thing. Now the sight of it, she skitters. Okay, but if I can get them used to something, a collar of some time, of something that I can kind of guide them. I did buy a leash that I didn't have space for it in my bag, but I stuck the collar in there, but I didn't put the leash in there because I figured, you know, most places got, I don't know, yarn and some kind of string or something that I could tie to the collar and kind of guide the cat. So, but yeah, that part is very important. To you know, to have the pet is safe, the pet is happy, they got ready, and that's the main thing when people get back from wherever they're going is their pet happy? Okay, so if a pet is pressing me to get outside, and I'm doing everything to, I just don't let them run out. Why? If they're indoor cat and they don't know how to, especially if they don't run out across the street, I don't just open up the door and let them out. But I do with care and safety on the pet's behalf. Because when the pet owner comes back, I want to be like, oh, wow, she is so happy. She really misses you, and she looks good, and you know, and people can tell when their pet is happy, not depressed. So, but yeah. But this particular, they said that she's a runner. She's not. She does not respond to the door at all. She does like to kind of stand in front of the door and get a breeze or something to sit in front of the window. Sometimes right now she's on my bed, or well, my bed while I'm here. You know, that's her owner's bed. But yeah. So the main thing is, you know, I'm willing to accept that concern, especially here. The pet doesn't have any toys, and she has things around here, and she's one of. Matter of fact, she's the only person that I've ever had a cat. And let me see if I can turn this around. And this house here, said. Apparently she likes to shop. I don't know if you can see that. She allows the couch to be the cat's scratching post. And she doesn't, I try not to get her too excited. I have a methodical rub that I do on pets, you know, that I'm learning how to do. And it gets her a little bit excited. I try not to get her too excited, but she'll jump on there and just start scratching and tearing that thing up. And when I first got here, and I was with the owner for a couple of hours, and she came out here and did it, and I sat there and I'm looking at the owner like, look, I'm here. what's your reaction to your cat scratch? She was like, oh, I just got that thing from Goodwill. It serves. She said she'll get excited. She said, well, I didn't pay that much for it, and when it comes time to me to get it, she said, I didn't intend on getting that one, but before I knew it, I had actually bought the thing, and she said, I didn't really want it, but they went ahead and delivered it, so I took it. But she said, if that's what she wanted to use it, a scratch and post it. Okay, that's fine. Hey, that works for you. But like I said, and maybe it's because she didn't really want the couch. She doesn't, just serve as scratch and post too. But believe me, most places, every place that I've been to with a scratch, that is one thing that the cat is not allowed to do. And that is tear up the furniture, scratching. They usually have a scratch and post. Like, she doesn't have a scratch and post yet, so it counts as a scratch and post. But she knows where to come to scratch on it. And it looks like it's mainly this arm, because I'm looking at the other side. Doesn't have a lot on it. But, Okay, let me see if was like, I don't know, anything else that I was going to talk about right quick. I don't think so. Oh, I'm looking at the washing machine. And this is the second place that I've been to. And people don't notice stuff in their own place. They know, and I'm sure, I'm at home in the U.S. and then, I do things and I don't really notice, and other people come over and they might notice it. But this is the second one I've been to. Then when I washed my clothes, because I washed a few of my clothes the other day, and I hung them up on the clothesline out front, and I noticed in the back, and I noticed when it got dry, there was so much, the amount of cat hair on my clothes was unbelievable. It was actually, I was like, wow, my clothes came out dirtier out of the washer than they went in. And it was, and I was like, I wonder has she ever cleaned the filter out of that thing. And so I did. I went in and checked, looked around the washer, and actually it was inside the machine. There was a filter that I pulled off, and it has a little sack on it. She said she's been here for 2 years, and I doubt very seriously if she even knew that thing was in there. I pulled it out, I dismantled it, the filter itself, and it was loaded with pet hair, with lint. It's lint. I put my clothes back in again, this time without any soap, and pulled it out. It was less hair in it, but it was still quite a bit more. And it was like, no, I'm not putting I doubt if I'll put my clothes back in there, but the sheets that I washed, I'm probably not going to use them again while I'm here. I'll let her deal with the hair and stuff on them. And that's just a way of kind of helping out. And this was the second place that I've said. The other place was actually in the U.S. in the Seattle area. My initial, and honestly, I don't think I knew that there was a lint thing on the washer. The only reason that I knew, because I looked at I found the directions. I remember I found the directions because I didn't know how to use the washing machine, and I didn't want to break it. So in reading the instructions on how to use the washer, they said about needing to clean the lint screen and drain off old water from the machine. And I did that, and a big reason why I did that was because the machine had an old water greasy smell, and I didn't want that in my clothes. So I was like, I put on my gloves. I got a bucket. They said, get a bucket to drain. I got a bucket, and I pulled off it was a tube, kind of towards the bottom of the machine. I pulled it. I'm sitting here talking to my mouth. I pulled off. Show me this. I pulled off the. Okay, not too bad. Not bad. Still talking. I pulled off the tube, and a lot of old water and old lint and all that stuff came out in the bucket. Based on the angle of the machine in the basement, I didn't get all of it out, but I did get most of it out. And that's when it dawned on me that I wonder if our machines have a screen like this. That's something I never did check. Actually, now that I mentioned about it, I really forgot. But yeah, so, you know, I went ahead and cleaned it off for her, cleaned out the screen for her. I might tell her when I get back, I don't know. If I remember, I'll tell her when her daughter gets back. I'm looking for tongs here. And I do not see that's a staple item. Oh, one other thing. Yeah, let me work on this. Yeah, so, you know, help, you know, people go on vacation or whatever, help them out. Help them out. You know, I'm helping her. You know, hopefully she won't, you know, helping her with that screen in there. Yeah, I vacuum. That's, you know, without saying. Because it looked like she vacuums on a regular basis. But even if she didn't, I would have. And that helps get rid of a lot of hair. I'm going to have to work on it. I'm going to have to unscrape that. Okay. Bacon is not quite as oily. And there might be a sugar thing too, like in the U.S. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it off, but I'm going to put this back in so it can cook a little bit more. I like my bacon pretty crispy. Let that in there for a few minutes. I did cut the potatoes off. I'm going to cook them in a few minutes. Let me show you this. This is how you sharpen knives. The cheap way. Alright, so we have out here, I'm going to turn this around. See right there, those are bricks. This is how you sharpen. This is how you sharpen a knife. And I'm not going to do them real sharp because she's not used to having sharp knives. So I'm just going to improve them a little bit. And I'll probably go through and do all of them, but it's going to be just a little bit. Okay, so let me show you. What you're going to do is you're going to angle it almost flat. Just a little bit of an angle. Not a lot. Almost flat. And you're going to bring it through, but you're going to do it in the direction of a cut. See, like that right there. So I'm going to avoid that. So angle it down. Let me go to another. See, I started using this right here. And I'll find another flat spot. But you're going to come down, all the way down to the tip. But you're going away from you, like as if you were cutting something on the side. And I'll probably do it about 10 times. 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then back in the other direction. You're going to be cutting towards you, so kind of slide out the way so you don't want to cut yourself. But you're going to coming down. Let me see if I can do that in the other hand. Not usually left-handed, but let's see. But the goal is to improve. She told me when I got here that the knives were dull. She has a machine in there that it would take me a minute to figure out how to use it, and this way I have better control. Okay, so anyway, well, that's just a inexpensive way. You probably need in that particular case. That's a brick. You can use a stone a relatively flat stone. Well, at the bottom of a coffee cup. You could probably use the bottom of the coffee cup. I would be hesitant of that because it will leave some kind of dark. The metal color will be on the bottom of the coffee cup. So if it's not a rough looking coffee cup already, I wouldn't use it on a coffee cup. But that helps with sharpening knives. This is the one that I did earlier. I want to cut, I don't know if you saw the apple in the background. It's done got a little brown. I'll put it in the refrigerator. I want to cut this apple earlier, and it scared me how dull that knife was. Because any cook will tell you a dull knife is dangerous because of the amount of force that you end up putting in, and then it cuts through and it might cut your hand while you're trying to deal with it. So, so that is just, what else? That's enough. That's enough for now. That's enough. All right, y'all, take care. I will probably do another video in a few days. If not, I'll see you on my next house sit. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.